Hello there, Internet people. It's your good buddy Rue here to talk about one of the three reasons I get out of bed every day: comic books. Before I get started, I have one thing I really do need to say. I have a very good feeling that this episode is going to run a bit longer than my normal ones. I tend to try to keep them under 10 minutes, and I don't think it's going to work this week. But in case you don't know, generally speaking, I do have a text version of these reviews available at www.theouthousers.com, and or I'm also going to start posting them on the RUviews Facebook page. Again, I don't really expect too many people to care that much, but I just wanted to let you know that if you don't want to sit in front of your computer listening to me talk for over 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, there are other options you have. And that being said, I'm going to get started here, and I do want another thing I need to say is that usually I have these reviews and I give the bad stuff and then I give the good stuff because I like ending on a high note. But even usually the bad stuff, I do try to find silver linings. I don't like disliking comic books. I don't like feeling like I've wasted money or time reading them. Unfortunately, as much as I do love comics, as much as I do love the way stories are told and all the other aspects of the genre. I don't know if that's the right word or not. I don't really care. There is quite a bit of garbage that I find myself reading every once in a while, and even then I try to finish the book. But my God, some of the horrible crap that I just couldn't bring myself. The horrible books I'm going to talk about here right quick, and I promise to end this episode on a really high note, at least I hope so. But the two books I'm going to talk about that are just horrible, I have no idea why they were made, how it got past the publisher, and well, maybe at some point in time I would figure it out if I could bring myself to finish them. We're going to start off with Uncanny XMen. This is the cover to number 6. We'll talk about 6 and 7 here in a second. But Marvel, I'm done. I just can't do it anymore. I have a run of Uncanny XMen that starts with issue 246 and doesn't stop until you ended it sometime in the 540s. If we add annuals and sporadic earlier than 246 issues I have for some reason, that is over 300 comic books. And with the gaps from Giant Size through 246 filled in with the essential books, 9 of them, and soon to be, because you finally are putting out a 10th one. That's a 23-year run of monthly comics that I just can't continue this anymore. With the exception of number 5, the relaunch has been awful, and it has gotten progressively worse. No story has made sense. No resolution has left me even close to being fulfilled as a reader. And it's just, $4 for this crap. $4! I can't even explain, like, issue 7, I can't tell you how bad this was. Because, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, after reading number 6, and then seeing number 7 this week in my box, I opened the first page, read the synopsis, and I just couldn't do it. I tried. I really did. I even flipped all the way to the last page to see if it would inspire me to care how they got from point A to point B. Nothing. Kieron Gillian, however you pronounce this dude's name, I hear Journey to Mystery is great, so I'm not going to say you're a total waste of space like Victor Gischler is, but please just stop writing the Mutants, because nothing is going on. There's no emotional connection to any of these stories. And I don't want to hear anybody say, well, Wolverine the X-Men has all the cool characters. No, if you can't make Illyana Rasputin, Cyclops, Emma Frost, and Storm work, Colossus, I've never cared. If you can't make these characters work with Magneto to tell an interesting story, it is not the character's fault. It is you. And the art, especially starting with issue 6, doesn't help. When you have the eminent tracer that is Greg Land and a specific style of porno faces and wrestling poses that, what? You don't believe me? Okay, hold on. This right here, this is the cover to issue 7. What do you think is happening to Storm from behind? Take another look. Porno faces. Hey, look. Here we go. Sure looks to me like right down there, Triple H just showed up. Every single issue that Greg Land draws has Triple H, has a porno face, quite a few porno faces, actually. Issue 7, when I've tried to flip through it to read it, kind of made me uncomfortable every single time Psylocke opened her mouth. It was a definite O face. But never mind. His writing style might excite prepubescent boys who are reading this if A, they didn't have the internet to get the fix I didn't have when I was buying Witchblade when I was a teenager, and B, prepubescent boys were reading comic books. They're not. Instead, Greg Land is a constant insult to people who are looking for actual art and not somebody who traces screenshots or whatever the hell it is he does. Again, $4 for maybe 22 pages of 18-part story that so far has sucked, and the artist can't draw. I can't do this anymore. This is the last. Issue 7 was the last shot. It's the last one from my DCBS order. I have a 23-year run of Uncanny XMen that it has to end. I have survived Chris Claremont coming back multiple times, Matt Fraction, and Austin, for God's sakes. And I'd still maintain that Austin's run was better than Fraction's run, and part of that is because Greg Land was in Fraction's run. But I just can't do it. My wallet, my heart, $4. I just can't do it anymore. I will say this, Marvel, one of your major screw-ups here was relaunching the book at all. If this was still going, 556 or whatever it would be if you hadn't started with number 1, my OCD might still make me keep buying this piece of garbage. But since you relaunched it, instead of giving people a good jumping on point, in my opinion, you gave people a great jumping off point. Batman Through the Looking Glass. This is an original graphic novel. To people who don't really read comics, that means it was never published as single issues. This is so far the only way it's been published. This is the hardback version. I'm sure that at some point in time it will come out in softback version. Either way, don't buy it, don't read it. This is what the bloody hell is this crap? For the second time a week, which means only the third time I can think of, I couldn't finish a book. Through the Looking Glass is an original graphic novel written by Bruce Jones of Incredible Hulk and Nightwing fame, with art by Sam Keith, The Max, and a bunch of other stuff that if you don't know who Sam Keith is, I can't help you. And just, this makes me physically sad. With that broke my heart, this actually, I feel bad for how bad this comic book is. Whatever. The Bruce Jones that wrote this isn't early Incredible Hulk Bruce Jones. It's Nightwing Bruce Jones. The story makes no sense, and I don't mean it doesn't make any sense, and like Brazil didn't make any sense. You're like, well, Silurium, it's gonna rock. I mean, it makes no sense in the fact that you get about halfway through, like, you know what? I'd rather reread Extinction Agenda. That is actually what happened to me. The art, Keith. I hope Keith read the script and said, you know what? Fuck it. This doesn't deserve my A or B game. Like, there are flashes of the Max greatness in here. I think this page right here is a beautiful page. Yes, it's misogynistic and everything, whatever. Yell at me later. This right here is just a great page. Compare that to Robin on page 8, I think. I think it's page 8. I don't know how to count. He is described as an adolescent boy. This guy, right here, not the guy in the tux, Robin. I don't know what Sam Keith thinks an adolescent boy looks like. It looks to me as, I don't know, Robin ate the penguin, and the penguin's body shape is like coming out Robin's hips. Nice birthing hips, whatever. This is stupid. Don't buy it. I'm so glad that I have a public library because I didn't have to pay for this. Before I get to the really, really good books this week, I do want to put a special shout out there for New Mutants number 37. I've told you before that I really believe New Mutants is an unsung hero right now in the X universe. It's actually the only Team Cyclops book I read anymore now that the turd that is Uncanny finally dropped out of my pull list. It's a great standalone issue that highlights how much fun the book is. It's $3 instead of $4, and the story actually makes sense and actually makes you feel good, bad for the characters. Like, the emotions are there. Now, we have XFactor, 231 and 232, and we also have Thunderbolts. 169 and 170. I'm highlighting these two comic books right now because for the past couple months, especially these two books, have highlighted the month to month, the continual story aspect of comic books. XFactors, they keep killing Madrox? Yeah, they keep killing Madrox storyline has been incredible. And I don't mean like Watchmen levels incredible, and that's a whole other argument right there. Don't, whatever. I mean just, you know what, this is an X-Men book. It's a mutant book. It's a superhero book. I don't expect Shakespeare. This is exactly what I want from X-Factor. The plot flowed smoothly from the previous story arc to this story arc, and the setup for the next story arc at the end of 232, which is the end of the They Keep Killing Madrox's storyline, is just seamless. There's an obvious plan, and Peter David, it hasn't been a perfect book. I will never say that, but the highs completely outweigh the lows, and it just too much fun. And Thunderbolts. I'm showing you right now the penultimate and the one before that. I don't know what that would be called. Third to last issues of the jumping through time storyline of Thunderbolts, and since Fear itself, Thunderbolts has totally taken on a life of its own that finally I kind of see why Jeff Parker gets the praise he gets, at least on this book. Spoiler here for a second, so if you don't want to hear this go la, 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 until you see me flash up another comic book. The ending of 170 was awesome, and I really want... Like, it's basically these Thunderbolts, like the new, I'm not gonna say new generation, new philosophy Thunderbolts. They finally moved forward in time, but they landed in New York a couple years ago, and they're about to be confronted by the original Thunderbolts: Citizen V, Mach 4, Atlas, and it's just Rue wants that now, and this is it. If you're not reading Batman, then you... Or if you're not planning on picking it up in trade after the universal praise it has been getting, then just don't bother superhero comic books. I really know I sound like a broken record when I'm basically just always singing Scott Snyder's praises, but the inevitable day that he leaves Batman, in the short time that he's been writing the 6 issues for Batman and the 11 issues for Detective Comics, I'm actually I don't ever want to know a world right now where Scott Snyder's not writing Batman. Since the relaunch, he's created a book that's completely reader-friendly, sorry, and it's dark. It's what Batman should be. It's dark as all get out. Scott Snyder, who pretty much owned the Outhousers 2011 awards, with issue 5... he's already in the running for Comic of the Year, Single Issue of the Year for 2012. Face the Court, which is the title of issue 5, took everything that makes comics unique, the story, utilizing great art from Greg Capullo, and the reader feels the same levels of confusion, disorientation, and just frustration that Batman feels as the Court of the Owls are torturing and, basically just torturing him. And the last page... I have no idea when you read it. I have no idea exactly what Batman is feeling because that's never happened to me. But I do know that my breath left my body. It just was a fantastic way to end a comic book to make you want to wait. That you can't wait that month. It gives you not stress but anticipation. It's one of the reasons I do monthlies, because as much as I obviously love trades, some things the monthly format gives you an emotional reaction that I don't think trades can do. Read Batman, realize the awesomeness that is Scott Snyder, then pick up American Vampire, pick up Gates of Gotham. I need Scott Snyder to write a bad book so that I don't sound like a sycophant. That's it. Speaking of New Mutants, they recently brought Blink back into a storyline, which is awesome. And speaking of Blink, I'm getting the Age of Apocalypse omnibus here soon, and that is going to be awesome, and I'll totally show it off. Everybody have a good one. Hey, I'm under 15 minutes here by a couple seconds. Later, peeps.